How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Let me switch this back on. Sorry, tonight's video is going to be a bit late, just had some technical issues where my mic wasn't picking up my audio. I moved things around a little bit and I couldn't see the light flashing or not. El Salvador's Bitcoin curriculum will teach students the dark side of fiat. The program, launched in partnership with native Bitcoin projects, Bitcoin Beach, and My First Bitcoin, will teach 150 public school teachers about Bitcoin. This is good because it'll help with adoption. Since launching in 2021, My First Bitcoin has already taught 25,000 in-person Salvadorian students. Last year, the nonprofit developed a 10-week Bitcoin diploma that is open source, meaning its contents are fully available and viewable online for free. The 187-page student workbook features economic education, touching on subjects like the role of money, its evolution, and the dark side of fiat. It includes English, German, Korean, and Spanish translations, so pick up your copy. CFTC charges 3 DeFi protocols with violating AML rules and operating without licenses. In an order issued on Thursday, the U.S. commodities regulator filed and settled charges against 3 decentralized exchanges. They also imposed fines and issued cease and desist orders on those exchanges. OPYN, 0x, and Deridex were illegally offering leverage and margin retail commodity transactions in digital assets, among other charges. The charges against the 3 projects primarily revolved around their failure to obtain appropriate licenses for operating in the US. Deridex and OPYN also face charges for failing to register as a swap execution facility or designated contract market, and failing to register as a futures commission merchant. The 2 exchanges were also held liable for not blocking US users and violating AML laws under the Bank Secrecy Act. Public of Palau freezes Ripple-based stablecoin on Friday. Here's why. Jay Hunter Anson, the director of the Digital Residency Office, announced the temporary suspension of the Ripple-based Palau stablecoin PSC pilot program. Today, they will cease distribution of the stablecoin. Anyone that still has the coin in their wallet has until the 15th of September to spend it before it is frozen for an unknown period of time right now. This pilot program involved government employees and select local merchants in Palau, including Surigil and Sons, the Penthouse Hotel, and King Minute Mart. So, very small group. Jay Hunter Anson had previously extolled the virtues of the project, stating that it is a prototype digital currency going through the pilot testing that has the potential to revolutionize the way goods and services are paid in Palau. This is good. He's still positive about it, so they may use it in the future, but it's a little uncertain. The exact reasons for the abrupt termination have not explicitly been stated, but he did say he will send a survey to all participants, so they do want to get the feedback. So it's not like they're saying, hey, we're done, we don't want to hear about it. The future of the PSC in Palau still remains uncertain, and the government has until the end of September to process retailer redemptions, and the lessons learned from the pilot could inform future fintech initiatives in the country. So, on to the charts. So we are getting a little bit of a rejection from our support here, our Fibonacci area. So we are seeing a tweezer top and a bearish engulfing candle. That is not good. If you're not familiar with what those are, hit the likes and then hit the Discord link either in the top, copy that, or join us with the Discord link in the description and get our resources. But our RSI is starting to curl, our money flow is coming out, our stochastic's coming down, that VWAP is pretty flat, and the momentum's kind of stalling as that VWAP's stalling. So if we get a red candle tomorrow, that could push us lower, and we could see this pattern break us down finally. So we do have a bit of a bear flag here for me. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we do have a head and shoulders here, as we have a shoulder, a head, a shoulder. So if we break below this 49% zone, we could see this bear flag finally break us down. That RSI is overall trending out, the stochastic's starting to roll over, our VWAPs overall getting lower highs and starting to curl away, and the money flow is in a bearish trend, so we are in jeopardy of seeing lower price action. Over on our futures, we did come down and fill our gap, so we kind of gapped up, hit our gap, and came down. So we have done a full fill of this gap, so we could see continual price action down if we get another red candle, which at that point we could break our support here. If we broke that support, we could see the 20k zone. However, if we see a green candle or we bounce off of this support, we could fill this higher gap and continue to move to our other high gap. Our money flow is overall in a bearish trend. Our VWAP is struggling. It is in the bullish territory, but it's kind of getting a lower high and kind of starting to round off already. The momentum has a bullish divergence that wants to push us up, but if the VWAP starts to push under and we get that red candle, we could get a rejection here. Over on Bitcoin, we do have that head and shoulders here as well, so it's all across all three, shoulder, head, shoulder. So that's why it's important to pay attention to the futures and the dominance, because they do lead Bitcoin. Our stochastic is heading up, our RSI is coming down, our VWAP's in the bullish territory, our money flow is heading down, but our momentum's coming up. Speaking of up, hit that thumbs up, join us with those Discord links either above or in the description again, and hit the subscribe. And we'll give you any kind of links or support you need, just ask us. Our RSI is starting to head down, so with that VWAP kind of stalling, the momentum stalling, money flow is kind of trending out, we could get a rejection here, especially with that head and shoulders. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we have a bit of indecision here. We kind of rounded out like I warned about. We had that green dot, and I said that green dot I really didn't trust, and we came down from it. Our stochastic's coming down, RSI is coming down, the momentum's coming out. The money flow is kind of trying to push bullish, but it's not really getting any sustained pressure above this neutral. Our VWAP is coming back up, so if the money flow and VWAP can break bullish on these lower time frames, that could help push us through and push us into a bullish trend. However, if the lower time frames start to weaken here, we could see a rejection. If we look at the 2 hour, we are struggling to get any kind of strong liftoff out of this zone, so we keep coming back to our support resistance area. RSI is pretty flat. Our stochastic does have a bullish cross, so that's good for us. The money flow is slightly trending out. It's struggling to go lower than 11 and kind of tapering up, so that could push us forward if we get continual green candles and the VWAP crosses bullish. But if you look, the VWAP's kind of flicking like it wants to roll over, so I would keep an eye on it. Our momentum is in the bearish territory, and it's likely to come down lower if that VWAP rejects. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is running up pretty decently. Our RSI is pretty flat though. Our money flow is in a bullish trend and coming up, so we could break through the neutral and press forward and invalidate our head and shoulders. But if the money flow starts to roll over and the VWAP breaks bearish here, we could get a rejection, so keep that in mind and watch out for that. Our momentum is trying to come up, but with the VWAP stalling, it is in danger of seeing lower action. Over on graph, we are starting to push away from our bear flag, so if we get a red candle tomorrow, that could confirm a bearish trend down and a breakdown of this pattern. Our stochastic's starting to roll over, RSI is pretty flat, our VWAP's pretty flat, our money flow is flat under the bearish territory. It's kind of not really going anywhere. If it starts to pull away with the red candle, if we get one tomorrow, then we could see lower price action. The momentum does want to come up, but if we get continual red candles, that is in jeopardy of curling away. Over on the 4 hour, we do have that Bart Simpson still that could break us down, but we do have a bullish cross on our stochastic and our RSI is heading up, so we do have some action that wants to try push us forward. Our VWAP is trying to head up, our money flow is trying to push higher. It's struggling to get above this neutral, so if the money flow doesn't break bullish with strength, then we could just roll over again. Our momentum is getting higher lows and trying to make a bullish divergence, but we're kind of struggling still. Over on the 2 hour, we are kind of making a bit of a cup. On the 1 hour, I think we have a bit of a possibility for a cup and handle. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic's trying to push forward, our VWAP is ramping to the bullish territory, and our money flow is trying to cross positive, but it's starting to roll away. So keep an eye on that. If it makes a lower low and rejects down, we could get a breakdown and we could see those lower price targets of, what was that, 6.9. So good time for some, not for others. Our money flow is trying to push up, but like I said, it's stalling. Over on the 1 hour, we are kind of rounding here, so we could make some sort of a cup and handle. We do kind of have like a reverse cup and handle here, kind of weird looking, so that could spill us down. I believe I haven't really traded on those much, so don't take my word for that. We do have a little bit of a gap here that we could push forward towards, but we do also have some lower gaps, I believe. If we look at lower time frames, I'm not going to get into those here. Our stochastic's trying to head up, our RSI is trying to trend up, our VWAP's trying to push up, and our money flow is trying to make a bullish trend. If the money flow can break above this 6 zone, we could see it push through this neutral and get a bullish move up. Our momentum is trying to come up, but kind of rounding away as our VWAP looks a little indecisive. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are coming above our pattern, so we do have a potential to push forward, but our stochastic's starting to round off. Our RSI is looking a little flat. Our VWAP is pressing forward though, continuing bullish strength, but the money flow is not quite getting there and starting to reject away. If the money flow continues down and the VWAP loses steam on the lower time frames, then we could see a rejection here and see lower price action. The momentum does want to come up, but like I said, that VWAP is in danger. We have touched here a few times and broken down from those touches. Right here, you can see we had a touch here, got a little bit of a drop, got a touch here, and that spilled us down toward this range. So sometimes it's little moves, sometimes it's a move where you're like, oh man. 4 hours trying to come up, but we could form a double top here, and that could drop us lower. We'll get into that on the lower time frames. Our stochastic's trying to head up, RSI is trying to come up, our momentum is starting to roll over with a green dot, and the VWAP is trying to push through this neutral with the money flow. So if they can cross through and gain strength, we could see a bullish trend. However, if they roll over on the next couple candles, we could get pushed down. Over on the 2 hour, you can kind of see that double top a little better. We do have a little bit of a gap below us, so that could start us to break down. If that does happen, we also have on the 1 hour, we have a lower gap down here. That's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about graph, so sorry about that. Our RSI is overall trending out. Our stochastic's trying to push up, but our momentum's got a bit of a bearish divergence. The stochastic has a bearish divergence too, as price is making consistent highs, but they're making lower highs. Our money flow is starting to roll away. It got rejected from this 11 zone, so if it breaks through this 4 zone, we could see lower price action. The VWAP is starting to roll away as well, so we do look a little dicey here. Over on the 1 hour, you see we have a gap at 1845 and a gap at 1807 that we could end up filling if we do start to spill over. So I would watch out for those zones, and those would likely be our next zones of support. Our stochastic's starting to roll over, our RSI is starting to roll over. Our money flow is in a bit of a high spot. We did hit a 21 the last few times it hit this. We did end up dropping down a bit after. We did get some continual pump from here as we maintained bullish strength, but then ultimately we broke down. The same thing kind of happened back here. We got a little bit of a push up, but then broke down and broke down even lower. So do bear that in mind. Over for XRP, we are trying to push our support resistance area. We have a dragonfly candle. Again, hit those Discord links if you want to know what these patterns are. Stochastic's pretty flat, RSI is pretty flat, our VWAP is pretty flat. The money flow is starting a downtrend, so if it breaks lower, we could see bearish action. The momentum is in jeopardy of rolling over, as that VWAP's pretty indecisive right now and doesn't have much bullish strength. Over on the 4 hour, we could print a reversal arrow here. So if that does print, that could roll us over. Our stochastic is trying to push higher. Our RSI is pretty flat. our VWAP is trying to ramp up, and the momentum's trying to come up as well. The money flow is rejecting away from our neutral, but we're getting pretty tight. Overall, the money flow is coming up, but if we don't cross over with some strength, we could get a rejection here if the VWAP breaks down. Over on the 2 hour, we are looking a little toppy here. If we get a red candle to form, that could start to drop us down. Stochastic's rolling over, RSI is pretty flat, our momentum's starting to roll over, and our VWAP's starting to lose strength. The money flow is in the bullish territory, but it doesn't have much strength, so if it breaks bearish with that VWAP, we could see another leg down. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting a little more rounding happening than the 2 hour, so I would watch the next few candles closely, as those could break us down, or we could see a continued trend up if the VWAP can roll up. If the VWAP continues down and breaks through that neutral, that would likely give us our leg down. The money flow is looking a little dicey. It does have bullish strength. It's at about 13, but it hasn't really been this high too often, and we've seen breakdowns when it gets that high, so be a little weary. The RSI is kind of flat. It's kind of struggling. Stochastic does want to head up, but it really doesn't have any room to go. It has a little bit of room, but it is also making a bearish divergence here as well, so keep that in mind and watch out for that. Finally, for algo, we will cover the meme coins tomorrow. I think I'll start doing those on Saturday. Leave a comment if you like that idea, or leave a comment if you have other ideas. Again, I want you guys to help decide where the content goes. I'm doing it for you. It's your channel just as much as mine. Stochastic's trying to run up, RSI is starting to roll over, our VWAP is trying to push up, our money flow is trying to push under that neutral and gain some bearish trajectory, and the momentum is in jeopardy of rolling away as that VWAP's losing some steam. So I would watch out. If the VWAP continues down and breaks bearish, we could see a leg down and see this pattern finally play out. Over on the 4 hour, this would be our third touch, 1, 2, 3. I did warn about that as well. Stochastic's coming down, RSI is trying to trend up though, so we are trying to get a rebound. The momentum does want to curl up, the VWAP's trying to push up, and the money flow is trying to curl up. So we do look pretty decent as we are getting a strong green candle, but if we come up to around this 9 or higher 9.8 and pull away, we could see that just drop us down. This could also form a head and shoulders that could drop us down if we get a red candle soon. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is trying to trend up, our stochastic's trying to trend up, the money flow is trying to trend up, and the VWAP's pushing bullish, giving the momentum a green dot, trying to push that higher. So we do have potential to continue up from here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a green dot that wants to push us higher. We could form a cup and handle here as well if we get a little bit of a rejection down and make a bounce and push forward. Our stochastic is running up, our RSI is trying to run up. We are starting to curl now with this new candle, but we are just opening, so I would watch closely. If we get a red candle, that could see a bearish pattern form. Our money flow is trying to push up currently. We are in a little bit of a bullish trend, but I would exercise caution. The VWAP's trying to push up, and the momentum's trying to push up. So, like I said, if we get a green candle here, that could help kick us up. But if we start with red candles, that could be the action to push us lower. Thank you for watching tonight's video.